Welcome, everybody, to the Socialpreneur Podcast. This is episode, I think, 6. I think I'm doing 7. This is season 3. We are rolling right along. I'm excited for our guest today, but before I introduce her, I want to say thank you all for being here. Thank you all for listening. And if you have somebody you know that needs to be on the Socialpreneur Podcast, totally send them my way. I try to strive to bring you all entrepreneurs, people in social media, people that are doing big things that I think could help the audience get to where they want to go in their business. So if you know somebody like that, all my information is down below. I also will put the information of the guest down below in case you want to reach out to her. And after you hear from her, I'm sure you will. So without further ado, I want to introduce one of my really good friends that we've probably known each other. I was trying to think since 6th grade, maybe like 25 years or something, for a long, long time. But my friend Brittany Penny, I was going to say Brittany Williams, but Brittany Williams Penny, because I've known her that long that I know her maiden name. She is doing so many big things through the bourbon industry. She's doing a lot of stuff on social media. I know she's going to be in the movie or documentary. Like she's out there. She's doing so much stuff. If you don't follow her on social media, I'll make sure she'll let you know how to find her. Brittany, welcome and thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to talk to you and let people know who you are if they don't already know who you are, because you've been doing a lot of stuff in the bourbon industry. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, how you got into bourbon and all that.
Hi, thanks, Allison.
You're welcome.
I started because I'm a girl who loves to drink. I love bourbon. Kentucky is, home. So of course, bourbon is king, right? So
Right.
anyway, so I was trying to do I just like to drink it. And so it was 2020, COVID was real. And I was pregnant with my first child. And, my husband just kept on drinking around me because it was, we
Same.
were locked in and everything like that. And I just kept on picking up all these different aromas and things like that. Cause, being pregnant, like everything is heightened, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I said to him randomly on a Tuesday, like, yeah, we should start a bourbon company. He kind of was like, oh yeah, that would be cool. Well, then the baby came and we were up every day at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. and we weren't sleeping anyway. So I just turned to him and I was like, guess what? We're going to start this company.
Love it.
Basically that's what happened. We founded 2 Cents Inc. in September of 2020. And then our first product, which is the 9 bourbon, was done and produced by April of 2021. So we were moving and grooving. I mean, once we found somebody to work with us, once we found to source barrels and things like that, it was like boom, boom, boom. It was like clockwork because, we weren't sleeping anyway. So why not, right?
Why not start a company?
Exactly. So that is what we did. So we've been going strong for going on 4 years now. Crazy, right? But we are still here, and I am the founder and CEO, which a lot of people assume that it is my husband doing all this and running everything because bourbon is a very male heavy industry. So It is very surprising that they were like, oh, so this is your company. You're actually doing this. You're actually running everything and sourcing and doing all that. So I was like, yes, it is me. So that is what I do. And yeah, that's it.
So, because I know you're on this full time, because I personally know you, and I know your husband has a full-time job. So I know all the work that you put into this because we've talked about being business owners. How did the name come about for one, and where do you think this company is going in the next couple years? Because I've seen it kind of evolved from one thing to another, like in a great way. But one, how did you get the name? How did you, kind of evolve it? What was the process for you?
Yeah. Okay. So good question. The name 2 Cents Inc. Last name is Penny. 2 of us. So Penny and Penny, 2 cents. 2 Cents Inc.
Right.
Also, it is a double meaning because it is talking about our 2 cents on bourbon. Like, this is what we like. This is what we think is good. So our product is something that I wanted it to be a sweeter bourbon, because I wanted to get a lot of women into whiskey and bourbon and things like that. And most women, we really like the flavor of it. We really like to actually taste things and not feel the burn and not feel all that like craziness. Just get the notes. And that is what our bourbon does. The non-bourbon. Okay, now first of all, let me tell you. Bourbon is a very hard thing to name because everything is taken, right? Absolutely everything. I mean, we were tossing out all type of crazy names. I mean, we came up with something we call like, well, let's call it horseshoe, and that is taken. Let's call it, 7, that is taken. So the 9 came up because it was the 9th year in our marriage to where our daughter was born. And also we started our company in September, the 9th month. So it was just kind of like staring us there the whole time, but we just couldn't get there quickly. But we did eventually, and we couldn't even call it number 9 because that's taken. So that's why it's called IX. So Roman,
Yes.
numbers. So the 9 bourbon.
I love that. I love that you made it kind of family oriented. It's kind of sentimental, and you had your daughter then, and it's perfect time to I know people will be like, "Oh, you're having a kid. You don't need to start something new," but your mind has to be occupied and working too, even though that you're having a baby. And I know that you were at home and you were staying at home full time and taking care of the kids. So I'm sure you wanted to contribute in some kind of way and to use your, brain power. So tell us a little bit about your background, like if your degree or anything that you have helped with this, and then how did you source this and figure out how to do it? Because me, if I wanted to start a bourbon company, I wouldn't even know where to start. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So my background is in marketing, communications. I have in MBA and social media marketing. So that is where I came from. And honestly, when I started this whole company, I was still working full time too. So I was a social media manager for a company that I shall not name because it was not a great parting. But anyway, so I was doing that, and it was crazy because I was working full time, baby, and I was like, oh, I just do like the bourbon thing on the side. Who does that, right? It's like a whole company, and it's like, oh, it's just a little side hustle type thing. But then me and said company actually like just parted ways, things like that. And I was like, well, I guess I'm just gonna like do this. I mean, because I thought about it, I was like, I could probably find another job and things like that. But I'm like, I don't want to work for anybody else. I mean, that was such a bad breakup between me and this company that I was just like, I'm so tarnished. I don't want to work for anyone else. I want to do this full time. I want to make this my job and everything like that. So basically what we did was network. We started talking to people. We got on Google and try to be like how to start a bourbon company type thing. So our first thing was to find a company that was willing to help us source barrels, because bourbon is very regulated. So you have to go through the proper channels to get to the barrels. You can't go up to just anybody and be like, hey, can I purchase this? No, it has to be through a broker, a distillery. It has to be through certain things. And because we don't have that yet, we were working with different vendors to try to find barrels and trying to find different things. And then once you find the barrels, you actually get to taste through everything. Well, I couldn't taste because guess what? I was breastfeeding, right?
Oh, great.
So my husband was tasting through everything, and I was just like smelling stuff, and I was like, "No, this ain't it. No, this ain't it. No, no, this ain't it." So fun fact is, I didn't actually taste it until it was done, bottled, labeled, corked, ready to go, and
And what was your thought when you first tasted it?
I was so happy because I'm like, this
Eh,
is great. This is just what I wanted. Because I was a nervous wreck, Allison.
Good job, James.
I mean, the whole time I was just like, oh my God, I hope this tastes good. But the thing is, I was up here thinking, like, well, it smells delicious. So if
Mhm.
it smells great, then it's probably going to taste great. I was hoping, fingers crossed. And it did. So I was so excited about that. But yeah, that's just it. It's just you have to don't be shy. You have to network. You have to slide in people's emails, DMs, introduce yourself, things like that, and just kind of go with it. I mean, it's a company where you literally have to knock doors down. It's a business to where you cannot be shy. You cannot be, because these big companies, these brands, they will just roll over you. Like bourbon
Mhm.
is very cutthroat. It's
Mhm.
very like a game of Thrones type of situation.
Right, and it's not superly diverse yet. There are some women of color, men of color that are in it, so it would probably be super hard as a Black woman to
Yeah,
even just get your foot in the door places.
exactly. And considering that I'm the first Black woman in this whole state,
Mhm.
Kentucky, second only to Fawn, who's in Tennessee with Uncle
Right.
nearest. Yeah, I walk in and people think that I'm the bottle girl. They think that I'm the brand person,
Right.
ambassador, influencer, even. They don't think that this is my company. They don't think it's my brand.
That you
But
did on the work for it.
yes, and then if James is there, my husband is there, they just automatically just walk straight past and talk to him. I'm like, oh, okay, sir. So you do that, and James so sweet. Love him dearly. He's very polite. He's just like, okay, yes, but the CEO is right there. So you probably need to ask her those questions, not me. I'm just kind of helping out,
Here's some support.
Yes, I'm just here for support, but I mean, this is really her thing. So yeah, but it is very coming into this industry. You do not see people that look like me. You see women, but not a lot of color women.
Right. And you're
So
not even just talking about Black women, like, they're Hispanic, Indian,
yes,
Yeah.
no, no. But I pray every time there's a conference, summit, anything. Like, hopefully, I'll see somebody else that looks like me, and then like, no. Well, I'm like, oh, that's okay. It's
Well, you're
fine.
paving the way for
Yes.
other women of color to be able to do this, so I commend you for that because it's always hard to be the first to start something, the first to enter those doors, to have a seat at the table, so I commend you for doing that, so thank you for
Yes.
doing that, and I know other women are thanking you for that because 'cause they're probably just sitting there like, bourbon company, I might do that." Even if it's not bourbon, they're thinking of
Mhm.
something. It could be something else that's not
Yes.
bourbon. So what I hear you saying is like it was great to part ways with that other company that you were with because it wasn't doing you any justice. You might have learned a couple things that you brought to this, but this is where you were meant to be and this is what you were supposed to be doing. So talk about a day in the life of being a CEO. Like what do you do day to day? I know you've touched on a couple little things, but what's your day like?
Well, my day is crazy, number one, because I'm doing this and I have two small kids. So there's no childcare, there's no backup. They are always here with
You're
me.
and it's 2 girls too.
Yes, and it's two girls. So 3 and 1. So my day in the life is constantly with them, balancing them, but also I got my computer up, my laptop up. I'm doing emails. I'm checking out latest trends. I'm big into marketing. So I do all of our website, our social
Mhm.
things or whatever. So I'm looking at different trends and how to market the bourbon, because doing that on social media is very challenging because there's a lot of guidelines. So there's things that you can say versus things you can't say, because if you say the wrong thing, then they will get your post pulled down, which I've had that happen. And I was like, oh, so they can do that. Okay, fine. But that is the day in the life. I'm always planning. I'm always trying to see how can I push the bourbon forward. Right now, it's been kind of crazy because we are doing our second product. So we've been I've been bouncing in between bourbon and this second product going, and we just kind of been, because now, and that is a whole nother social strategy, because that is something, it's not bourbon. I will tell
Right.
you this.
Okay.
It is not bourbon. So it's a completely different voice, a completely different feel. It feels like a whole different person over there. But so I'm working to develop that social strategy and that social platform and what that voice is going to be,
Mhm.
while still doing the bourbon voice. And also, I have my own voice, my own brand. It's called the 2 Cents CEO. So follow me on IG at the 2 Cents CEO. That is on IG and soon to be on TikTok. I'm still trying to figure that out. But basically, that's just to where you get to see me, and I'll be talking crazy stuff, or I'll just be, showing you everything I do and things like that. But I want people to get to know me. And
Right.
then so that way, if they know me, then they'll know my brands and different things like that. Because I've learned that people don't buy the brands, they buy it from people.
Mhm.
So I
What
really
they
wanted,
resonate with.
yes. And I really wanted people to get to know me and love me. So yeah.
You've just given a lot of good little tidbits about, business and marketing and things that people are supposed to do. I wanna talk quickly about being a mompreneur. How do you juggle 2 kids at home, CEO, wife, life, friends? How do you do all this? Because it makes me tired just thinking about it, but I understand that I'm about to be in this same boat. So, how do
Um,
you do that?
I've learned to get comfortable in the chaos,
Mhm,
basically. I've learned to, and it took a while. It took a while for me to get comfortable with it. I mean, there are some days like early on, I was paralyzed because I was like, I'm overwhelmed. This kid's crying. I can't even think creatively. I can't put the business hat on. I can't do any of that. And you will have those days, and those
mhm,
days are okay. Like, I used to feel so guilty, like, oh my god, I should be getting all this stuff done and I'm not getting anything done and things like that. But I'm like, no, some days you need that, just to not do anything, and it's okay, and don't feel guilty. So when I just had the first one and we were going to just start everything up, I took her everywhere. And I took her places probably where I shouldn't have took her. I mean, she was in her little car seat, the
mhm.
stroller. I took her to distilleries. I took her to the rick houses. I took her to the bottling companies, because I'm like, I just
What
had
else you gonna do? That's
right.
what I plan on doing everywhere I
Yeah.
go.
Like, I took her, I mean, I was in magazines, photo shoots, things like that. And she would always be parked off somewhere. And I mean, she was a very good kid. I mean, still is. I mean, she's like a freaking angel. But yeah, I just took her everywhere because I just had to, like there was no one else. And I was like, I need to get this done. And plus I wanted her to see, like, you can do anything. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
can do this, just like mommy is doing this, and mommy is terrified and she really doesn't know what she's doing, but I'm still doing it anyway. And
Right.
and that's what I
Mommy
want
is
to show
tired,
her.
but she's still getting up and going.
Yes, but I'm still getting up, putting on this face, doing all this stuff, because that's what I want to show her, is that, you can really do anything. And it's so cool now because now, she's 3 and she's talking and everything. And anytime I'm in any type of magazine article, she like runs down, she grabs it from me, she's flipping to it, she's like, Mommy, that's you. Mommy, look, that's you.
Mommy's
Mommy,
famous.
that's you. And I'm like, yes. So it really pays off. So I would just say to get comfortable in the chaos, find the routine that works for you. Like, don't compare to other people that are doing all this stuff or whatever, because their job isn't your job, you know.
Mhm.
So you really need to find something that works for you, and really, and just take one day at a time, because and get comfortable in plans not working out. So, because every time I think that, I'm like, okay, she's gonna go down a nap here, so I'm gonna plan this. I'm gonna take this time to bang out things or
Right.
whatever. She don't nap. Nope. Nope. So
And
it's
then when
just
you
like,
don't want her to nap, she's probably napping.
yeah, so she's probably napping. I got very good at doing everything with one hand, because I would be holding somebody and be typing something out, or doing something. So but yeah, uh nighttime is the best time for me, when everybody's like sleep. That's when I'm up at like 12 and 1 a.m. and I'm like doing business things or whatever. I don't sleep that much anymore, but that's okay. I've learned to do that and everything. So just find your own pattern, your own rhythm.
That's such good advice for future mom, future CEO. I'm taking that for myself because
Yeah.
soon I'm going to be in the same boat that you are, and I just feel it's hard right now with just a dog trying to do stuff. The dog's barking in the background, needs to go out, whatever. So then I'm going to have a dog and a baby, so I'll be doing stuff with one hand as well. So what can we see in the future from 2 Cent CEO and the 9? I know you talked about another product coming in. I know you can't mention exactly what it is, but 5 years from now, 2 years from now, what do you see?
What do I see? I see at least our 2 year mark. I definitely see this second product coming out, and I wanted something completely different. And people like, so it's really not bourbon. I'm like, no, it's not bourbon, because not everybody drinks bourbon, and that's okay. So I wanted something. My whole thing is, I want to come for all the people who love to drink. So I'm gonna make something for everybody.
Gotcha.
So I wanted,
Excited.
that is gonna be our 2 year plan, is to get that going, but also to find more barrels and do the whole bourbon process over with. And the thing with bourbon is that it takes time.
Mhm.
So while the bourbon is aging or doing its thing, then I want to have this second product going. 5 year plan, I may put in a third product. I may do, of course, the bourbon will still be there, the second product will still be there, but basically I want my company to be the next Brown Foreman. Like,
Oh,
Brown Foreman has all these different brands, all these different, different things like that. That's kind of what I'm
going
building towards. So something like that. Our 10-year plan, yes, we want to have a distillery, bottling facility, canning facility, things like that. I do want a tasting room. I do want different things. Basically, I want a kind of like a distillery that's very family forward.
Mhm.
I'm thinking about having like childcare services. I'm thinking about having like just different things, so where everybody can come.
Right.
So, because I mean, I get it. I'm building this company with like no childcare. So of course, when I do have something, I want the parents to be able to drop off their kids there while they do tastings, or while they're just hanging out, or while they just kind of do something like that. So but yeah, that's kind of where we're going.
I
Eventually,
love it. I
we
love
will
it.
have the facility, but that'll be down the line. I'm not
Mhm.
rushing for that, because that's a whole lot of work. I've been talking to different people, and they always tell me, hold off on the
Brick and
facility
mortar.
for as long as you can, because that's a whole nother set of problems.
Another business pretty much,
Yeah,
besides just having the actual bottle for people to purchase.
yes,
I can't even imagine. With that facility, would it be trying to do in Louisville or outside of Louisville?
um,
You don't know.
It'll be in Kentucky.
Mhm.
If anything, Louisville, I do want something like smaller, maybe like some type of tasting room or a
Gotcha.
bar or something like that. But as far as like the facility, land is outside of Louisville. So land is I've found a few plots in like Barchtown,
Mhm.
found some place in like Shelbyville,
Mhm.
even further out, So I'm going all over Kentucky, trying to find different like plots of land just so I can like envision what this thing would even do and look like. But that's again, that's a 10-year plan. So I'm like, I'm not rushing to get that because I'm gonna need like a full staff. I'm gonna need that nanny for real. I'm gonna need like all types of stuff before we
Well,
even
yeah,
can
by
get to
that
that
time,
point.
if you're thinking 10
Yeah,
years, you might not even really need a nanny per se. You'd be having the kids. The kids, they won't be old enough to quote unquote work there, but they can help out in the
yeah,
background a
yeah.
little bit. And hopefully 20 years from now, 30 years from now, they can take over and they'll be, you know, fixing.
That would be the dream. But these two girls, I would think that they wouldn't even want anything to do with this because they would want to go like do something. I'm like, because they are so individual in themselves. They're like, oh, well, yeah, this whole company thing is cute, but I would rather go and like do fashion or something. I would rather go and like be like right now, our toddler is really into race car driving. So
Oh,
her thing is now she wants to be this a race car driver,
oh.
or so it's just like
You never know.
it
You
really
never know. You can do bourbon and fashion together because I mean that's kind of what Louisville's kind of doing anyway.
yeah,
Kentucky Derby, bourbon, fashion, it all kind of mixes well together. So don't count them out yet because 20 years from now you don't know what they will be into.
yes.
Even
And
if they could
speaking of
have an accounting degree and just want to do the books, and that could help you in the
right.
long run.
And speaking of fashion, yes, we do have merch that I've designed is on our website
Ooh.
at 2centsinc.com. So make sure you do the merch there. We got t-shirts, did some sweatshirts, even I have a tumbler, even. So yes. So and I've all designed that. So everything that you see, I've done it. So I've done like there is no team. There is 2 cents. It's me and James. There's no team. I wish there was a team, but there's no team.
Eventually,
Yeah,
there'll be a team. It takes a while because you want to invest your money into the business right
right.
now, but
Yes.
there will come a time. There will come. I already see it. I see the vision. So the CEO of this company is Brittany. So I want to
Yes.
make that clear. And as a CEO, what little tip, one or two tips that you can leave everybody with just about being a CEO in general, whether it's self-care, whether it's, speaking up for yourself, what tip can you leave?
Hmm. I would say the biggest thing is to relax because that is the hardest thing that I still struggle with is that because you are the like everything stops with you, right? So I would put all this pressure to just do everything perfectly the first time, or I would have all this pressure to just do this and then do this and then do that and like have everything on a plan, on a schedule. And a plan is great, but
Yeah.
plans fail. And
Uh-huh.
that's okay. It's like you have to relax. Like you have to understand that this is going to work. And oh, that's the second thing, believing this is going to work. This is going to work. Like there is no other option. There is no failure. Like
You're
this
too
is
far in, girl.
right. So there's that. I would also think the third thing I would say is to enter every room like you are supposed to be there. Don't enter with your head down. Don't enter and kind of go into these places and don't talk to people because I did that before and I was very like nervous going in the first time because I would see friends from Jim Beam and Brown Foreman and Jack and all these people. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to drink over here at the corner and not say anything. But no, you have to go into the room and you have to have that energy like you are supposed to be there because you are. This is your brand. You have a bottle too, just like they do. So you are supposed to be there. So do that. And the biggest thing is always self-care because you will need that. You
Mm-hmm.
will need the self-care. You will need the time to just woosah and relax and take off the business hat. Like, please take it off sometimes. You can't always have it on because if you do, you get burnt out quickly. Been there, done that too. So I would say all that. And the biggest thing is to have fun. Like, yes, this is your business, but your business kind of in a way is not supposed to be work. It's supposed to be
Be
fun. It's
fun.
supposed
Yeah.
because this is what you want to do. This is not somebody that you're working for that you're just trying to pay bills with or whatever. This is
Mm-hmm.
something that you want to do. So I would say just do that and just have fun and just know that this is your dream, your passion, and just go with it.
And then I think I touched on it quickly. You are going to be, and I don't know if you can mention all this, and is a
Mhm.
documentary? Is it
It
a movie?
is.
Can
It
you
is.
quickly just touch on that? I know it's not out yet, but tell us a
Yes.
little bit about that.
Yes. So first of all, I was super excited to even be asked because
Mm-hmm.
I'm in there with some big name people, and they're all women, and they're women from makers, there's women from Jim Beam, there's women's from Uncle Nearest, and I was so excited, right? But it is called the Spirited Women documentary, and
Mm-hmm.
it's basically telling the history of women in whiskey
Mm-hmm.
industry. So bourbon industry, whiskey industry, and it's basically just talking to having us share our story and our journey. And I mean, the film crew was amazing. These and it's all female film crew too, which was awesome.
Awesome.
So it was just very motivating. I think it's coming out this year, but it might be coming out next year. I'm not quite sure,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a great time. Now,
I
to
can't
say I
wait
was
to see.
nervous during that because I mean this was the film crew, right? So they had big old camera lights, everything, and I'm just in there like I don't know what to say. Like, what do you want me to say? And but yeah, but I mean it turned out very well. Well, I hope anyway. I haven't seen it, so
I'm sure it will. Like,
yeah,
especially if they have a film crew, they know how to edit and make stuff. I'm super excited to see this. You all, you and another girl we went to school with, Valerie, are in there.
yeah.
You all should like host like some kind of watch party or something. Just throwing that out there.
You know, I have her number now, so maybe we could do that. Maybe
Yeah,
we can do that because I was so surprised to see her because I haven't seen her since high school.
right.
So she came up to me, she's like, Brittany? And I was like, Valerie, what are you? Yeah, she works at Maker's
Makers.
Mark.
Yeah,
Yes. So she's been there for like a long time. And I was just like, oh wow, that's crazy. So yeah. So it was a great time. And then there was a scene to where we did this round a table. So it
mm-hmm.
was like me, Valerie, and then some other people, but also my mentor, which is Peggy No Stevens. And if you don't know her, please Google her. She is amazing. She is one of the few women, maybe the first woman, I'm not quite sure, but she's one of the few that's in the Bourbon Hall of Fame.
Ooh,
And she's so dope. She's been in the industry for a long time. And she is amazing. And I'm just so happy that she's my mentor. And I was at the round table with her, and it was so cool. So yeah.
awesome. Well, this has been amazing. You've given a lot of good information just about bourbon and to women that are interested in starting a business in general, like some little tidbits that you just got to do it. Some moms that are scared to hop into, you just gotta make that choice and jump. Like just jump over that, jump over that edge and do it.
And and also as a mom, don't hide kids. You know what I'm saying? Like there have been times that I've been on Zoom calls with different vendors and everything, and my child was right here, strapped to me, and she's up her sleep and everything, and I'm just talking back and forth, and I mean they like stop me and they're like, "So is she gonna wake up? Is she gonna? No, she's fine.
And they want to
She's
see the
fine."
kids. They were
Yeah.
like, yeah, they want to
So
see.
don't. Yeah.
It makes you real. I always
Mhm.
teach that in social media that your family, kids, dogs, husbands, it makes you real. It makes people want to connect with you because just being a CEO it sounds scary, like, oh, this person's CEO, but this is a mom. This
Yes.
is a wife. This is, whatever makes them real.
Yes. And I mean, and as a CEO, like people like I do talks and things like that, and people just come up to me and they like, I feel like I could just talk to you like all day long. And that's the other thing I would say is just be you. Like don't put on this facade that I'm the CEO and this is no, just be you. And I tell people like I don't know everything. Like people come up to me and ask me distilling questions and I stop them right there. I'm like, I don't distill. I don't know anything about that. I
It's
just figured
somebody else.
it's already done. I just
Right.
that's kind of what I did. Like I don't distill. I don't know the chemistry behind all that or whatever. I'm learning about it. But yeah, so I mean it's okay just to be you. You
Mhm.
don't have to put on this facade like you know everything because
Right.
this business is constantly changing and you can't know everything. So just keep it real. And if you have kids, then like, yeah, I have kids and they're sitting right here and you may hear them sometimes. But
It is what it is. So
yes.
tell us where we can find you. I'm going to put all the information down below, but just let us know one more time where people can find you.
Okay. So the business is at 2 Cents Inc. And we're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and I want to say TikTok, but I'm kind of revamping that, but y'all can still, follow it anyway. And
Okay.
then for me personally, it's at the 2 Cents CEO, and that I'm on IG and TikTok.
Okay. And the bourbon and the merch is on your website, right?
Yes, the website www.2centsinc.com, and then the merch is /merch. But you can see all that. It's all up there for you. So yeah. So go check it out and please purchase. You can find the bottles. We're only in Kentucky right now, Louisville, but all that is on our website too. So you can find like the stores and restaurants and the bars that we're at. So yeah, it's all on the
Awesome.
website.
This has been amazing. I enjoy talking to you because like I've said, we've been friends since actually sixth grade. Brittany and
Sixth
I have known
grade.
each other since sixth grade. And Brittany's been the same person since sixth grade as she is now. Some people change, but Brittany is Brittany, and you can ask anybody that knows her. So thank you so much for being a part of this and being a part of the Socialpreneur podcast. After I drop this baby, I got to taste the bourbon. I have not tasted the bourbon yet, but after this baby comes, I'm on it. Yeah, you and I talked about that.
And you need to take product number 2 because it is actually is going to be done probably next week.
Ooh,
So we are
okay.
that's
June,
a little tidbit
June. I
for
can do
the podcast.
like you. I'm going to be breastfeeding, but I can do some little taste tests and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So we'll get that going, and I'm excited to taste test that and get some bourbon and stuff like that because I've kind of been missing it since I'm pregnant.
It's okay. It's okay. It's fine.
It's worth it. It's totally worth it.
It's very worth it. And the first time that you can drink, girl, that is gonna be like the best buzz ever because you haven't drank in like so long
I
that
only
your
need
body
like
got
a half a
used to it.
cup and I'll be like,
Yes.
yeah, I know. Everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Socialpreneur podcast. Please like and share. We'll put Brittany's all her information down below, and then we'll put the information of the podcast and where you can find me and everything in social media. But give her a follow, support the business. She is a mom, so support those babies by supporting her. So thank you all so much, and we will see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.